Hello guys, S2W here as your average consumer with your casual consumer's review. For this video, I was able to purchase the first makeover version of the Nike Air Vapormax, which itself has only debuted this year in 2017 in celebration of Air Max's 30th anniversary. Initially, this remodification was strictly given to a collaborative pair between Nike and CDG, also known as Comme des Garcons, a famous Japanese fashion label. Now almost half a year later, it seems like Nike has reused that same design and constructed an identical model without the fashion label branding attached to it. Today, I have the Nike Air Vapormax Laceless SE, also known as Special Edition, in the triple black colorway here for review. I honestly thought that this design would never come into fruition as a global general release, because it would make sense if Nike and CDG wanted the exclusivity behind this silhouette. Also backing up on this, there were a lot of leaked images online depicting a new Vapormax Laceless that will come out in the future. But instead of the model that we have here today, the leaked model depicted in pictures had a large band or strap laying over the midfoot area instead. But I guess Nike decided to pump these version 1 of the easy to wear laceless slip-on Vapormaxes before moving on with the second design with the strap. Would these be better than the laced up models though? Let's take a closer look at these sneakers. Truth be told, if you already own a pair of the CDG Vapormaxes or have seen visuals of that shoe before, there really isn't much of a huge difference I feel. I don't have the CDG Vapormaxes in hand to compare, but through images, the colorway and design is practically the same besides one thing which I will mention later on. But looking at this specific pair, they've taken the normal Vapormax, removed the laces, melded the tongue into the upper, and placed 2 extra fabric strips onto the upper where the laces used to be, which in my opinion seems to either help with hiding some stitch marks or they were trying to add some layering effects so that the sneakers aren't too plain. Also, as you can tell, the shoe is categorized as triple black because of its darker tones, including a blacked out midsole which I'll go into detail in just a second, but the upper is not completely black as there are some grayish speckles sprinkled throughout the shoe to add additional depth to the overall look of the sneakers. The upper is made out of Flyknit material, which is Nike's knit upper known to offer exceptional breathability, flexibility, and lightweight properties. Flyknit will generally shape itself into the contour of your feet for a snug sock-like feel, and although most part of the shoe is non-stretchable, it's still very comfy and great for the warmer months thanks to the breathable construction, aka the multiple ventilation holes around the shoe. In this specific model, the idea of a seamless sock-like fit is more closely achieved in the lace version as the upper is now a one-piece fabric with no detachments whatsoever. Both the lateral and medial side continues to don a mirror-like visual characteristic of each other, with a prominent Nike swoosh branding in black on each side. Again, as I've mentioned earlier, different than regular versions is that the tongue is attached to the upper of this sneaker to complete the theme of a one-piece upper. It still continues to bear the Nike Vapormax branding patch near the top, and interestingly enough, there is a small detachment at the tip of the tongue so that it could fold over and rest more gently on our ankles. Furthermore, laying on top of the edge of the tongue are the 2 strips of fabric that honestly reminds me of a long band-aid to cover something up underneath. On the CDG version, they have embossed their Comme des Garcons branding with a second plastic layer on top of this same strip, but on this standalone Nike pair, as we can see, they have removed that so it's just a plain fabric trim. All in all, the laces are left behind for a simplified, sleek design. Other than that, the overall shoe still bears the familiar and original Vapormax silhouette, with a stretchy sock-like ankle collar for a relaxed point of entry and hugging collar fit. From what I understand, because they removed the laces, the fly wire filaments were also removed on this model. However, you do see a remnant design of where the fly wire should have been, as shown with the bumped up reinforced stitchings. Nonetheless, these thicker stitchings should offer a little more supportive protection, or as strength pillars as I like to say for the midfoot upper. Additionally, you'll see the same overlay also from the laced version that act as the mudguard around the bumpers of the sneaker, most likely added to give additional shielding and strength to the upper and holding our feet within the midsole for a stable ride. At the back of the shoe, we have an additional black overlay with the word Vapormax to showcase the name of his model. This text branding is 3M reflective, so when light hits it at a certain angle, it will light up brightly. Inside the shoe comes with a removable insole. The insole's foam by touch seems rougher than most insoles I find, but it does offer some compression capabilities. On the top surface, you'll see the Vapormax and Nike swoosh branding imprinted on it, while under the insole is a grayish metallic finish. Nothing too special under here. In regards to the inner lining, it's just plain Flyknit. There is no padding here at all, much like the laced up version. And we'll also see a large white suede heel counter that will further toughen up the Flyknit at the back of the shoes. Probably the most striking design of the Vapormax is the midsole and outsole air cushioning. Recognized as Nike's largest airbag unit on a model, this airsole is completely naked and exposed externally. Each bag were filled with pressurized air inside a tough plastic encasement that will maximize impact protection from heel to toe. Rather than having one giant aerosol unit, they have broken the units into several smaller individual airbags instead, which we'll see more clearly by flipping the shoe over. This was designed to increase the flexibility points under the shoe for our feet to bend and maneuver more freely. This also allows the shoe to become more versatile and comfortable while wearing it during active exercises. Under this bubbly air unit midsole is a quick transition into multiple rubber pods and sharp teeth for durability and grip on the ground. Certain pods also have a matte finish on the edges, what I assume will give additional grippy properties to the shoe. Lastly, near the heel section, we will also see the Nike swoosh branding on the left shoe while the Air Max branding on the right. Anyways, here are some Nike Air Vapormax SE Laceless in the triple black colorway fit footage. Fit wise, I bought these at my true to size and I honestly find them fitting pretty much similar to the laced up Nike Vapormax. For me personally, I do think that these were a little looser or more relaxed than the originals, but that could be because of the way I lace my Vapormax. I would personally say continue to stay with your Vapormax sizing for the most comfortable fit, but bear in mind that Flyknit do stretch a bit down the road after multiple wears, and because these don't have laces, going down half a size may not be that bad if you look forward into the future for a snugger fit. But all in all, your safest bet will be getting your comfortable Vapormax size, especially if you're like me who has wide feet and hate overly snug sneakers. Comfort wise, these felt exactly like the laced up Vapormaxes, so if you're buying this silhouette, make sure you like the looks of it because I personally don't think they are any different than the laced up version in terms of comfort. It is a lot more convenient though, I should say, as lacing up the Vapormax has always been a pain, at least for me because the laces were always too tight for me to take off or put on the shoes with a simple pull. I always have to unlace and relace them for the perfect fit, but for this version, it's quick to put on and take off. You're saving a lot of time by avoiding all of that work with this laceless model. But for those who have never tried a Vapormax, they are comfortable in its own way. The airbag on the heel is very springy, but unfortunately, it is the only one that you will feel honestly. The other air units are more durable I find, so you won't feel as much at first. But with wear, they do become less stiff, but they will never get to the point of how the heel will feel like. At least I haven't worn my other Vapormaxes to that point yet. Also, unlike Adidas's Boost, which is a cushioning that you will feel immediately, this airsole unit can only be felt if you maximize your force on it, such as stomping on it hard or simply running with it. So in essence, the more force you put on it, the more reactive it becomes. But like I've mentioned in my last Vapormax review, I really like the design aspect of this sole for its futuristic theme. It might not work for everyone, but honestly, I've been getting more looks and compliments while wearing my Vapormaxes than any other sneaker. Price wise, these were 265 Canadian dollars before tax, $10 more than a regular laced up Vapormax as they were considered special editions. In Canada at least, we are paying an extra $10 to remove the laces that was once on, and paying for the convenience of a slip-on comfort. Again, it all comes down to aesthetic preferences, cause comfort wise, both models, and I mean the laced up version and the laceless, generally felt the same to me. A little more relaxed on these laceless ones, but not a huge difference overall. As always, throw me some likes if you like this video and let me know in the comments if you think this laceless Vapormax is a cop or drop for you. I personally like the silhouette more than the laceless strap version, but hopefully we'll see a release of that next iteration soon. That's it for today. S2W signing off.